Pilate, whose job was to keep the peace. Pilate, the governor, with the authority, wrested, stolen, taken from the Hebrews, from the chief priests, and from the king, known as Herod. Pilate, who had the power of life and death. Pilate, who controlled the police forces, who could assign armed guards here and there. Pilate, who you remember as Good Friday dawned, had before him a prisoner brought by the Jews who was accused of blasphemy. A prisoner named Jesus of Nazareth. Pilate, who looked and examined the case and said to the Jews as they clamored about and said, "He deserves death. Under our law, he deserves death." Pilate, who argued, "Under my law, there's nothing wrong with this man. He is innocent. He has done nothing that Roman authority can punish him for. But we want him crucified." Pilate, who even started to argue the case of Jesus. I'll tell you what, this being your Passover feast, choose between this other criminal who's been caught in the act, named Barabbas. Choose between him and Jesus of Nazareth. Choose between the criminal and the man who is innocent. "Let Barabbas go," they cried. "Crucify him." Pilate, giving in to the political cries, to the emotions of the people, finally takes a basin of water, places it in front of them all, and says, "All right, I sentence him to death by crucifixion. But before you, I wash my hands of this matter. I want nothing to do with it." They took Jesus out, and under the guard, with the guard of the Roman soldiers assigned by Pilate to make sure that everything was done, that there was no riot, that he was properly crucified, dead. Jesus was crucified. Good Friday. The events, by the evening, Jesus was dead. You wonder how Pilate slept that night. Probably quite soundly. He had dealt with a pesky, troublesome problem. For years, people had been claiming that this man, Jesus of Nazareth, was some kind of a Messiah, a new emperor, a new king. And now he's dead, gone. The case is closed. Put the file away, slam the door. It's over. And Pilate has washed his hands of the whole matter. Then the next day, who comes before Pilate again? The same chief priests, the same scribes, the same rabbis, the same motley crew that had come the day before demanding that Jesus be crucified. Now, what do they want? Now, we want you to know, Pilate, that unless you put a guard on the tomb, his disciples are likely to go out and steal his body and claim that he was raised from the dead, just as he said. Pilate can't shake this guy. He can't shake these crazy people with their emotions. All right, you take the guard and make that tomb secure. We often bypass this assigning of the guard in our understanding of Holy Week leading to Easter. Good Friday marks the crucifixion of Christ. And generally we end all our pictures and our thinking with the pictures of Christ being brought down from the cross and taken to the grave. The dead body, the pieta. Very, very few artists have even attempted to deal with the assigning of the guard. What artist would you like to paint that? I guess I could picture a Rembrandt-style painting of that. Rembrandt who used light and color so effectively. Rembrandt who painted the most classic scene of the crucifixion, of Jesus being brought down from the cross, with all the faces dark, the disciples darkened in a black background with just lights on the face of the dead Christ. And Joseph of Arimathea at the foot of the cross offering up his silk and his special cloths to wrap the body of Christ in. And Mary in grief over on the side with a secondary light. Picture Pilate assigning the guard. Go, take the guard and make the tomb secure. In the background could be all the darkness of the guards, the presence of the military just kind of lost in the background. Maybe a glint here or there from a sword or from a spear or from a piece of armor that they carried. But the main light being on the faces of those elders and those priests, those people who now had the responsibility thrown on their shoulders. They were old men who had the job of young men. Go and make the tomb secure. Take all the power you need. Do it. Do it. And in their faces would be reflected the fear. Remember, they came to Pilate with these words. That liar, talking about Jesus, that liar, that deceiver, said he would be raised from the dead on the third day. Therefore, it being the second day, you should assign a guard for the tomb. Make it secure. They feared, first of all, a hoax. A hoax. Jesus' body could be stolen out of a grave where there's a rock rolled, no matter how big that rock is, could be stolen away, and all the people wander around and proclaim, he's not in the tomb because he is alive. A hoax. They said that second lie would be worse than the first. And what was the first lie that they proclaimed? That Jesus claimed to be the Son of God. That he was the Messiah. No. But then there would be a second, even more terrifying fear, and that would be the fear that what had happened, what Jesus had promised, might indeed happen. He may be raised.